Hey y'all, welcome back. Alright, now we on day 14, post 14. Woo! We're making it, we're doing it, we're getting there. Alright, of GBS Awareness Month, where I tell my story, my little piece of story about my diagnosis. I was one of many, babes. One of many. Alright, so here we are, day 14. This next video, let's talk about it. This video is me talking about basically, did a corn dog cause my GBS? We may never know. We may never know. So in my previous post, you know that GBS, it really doesn't have any definitive diagnosis. Now, there are possible things that cause it, but there's no definitive no definitive. What am I saying? All right, or I promise, like, I be knowing stuff. Like, I promise I be knowing stuff, and sometimes, like, I just don't be talking right. Like, my mama raised me right. I just went wrong. Okay, so basically, there's possibilities with no definitive diagnosis. I, to this day, what is it? 5 or 6 years after the fact, do not know what caused my GBS, and I just, at this point, I just have to accept it. But this is me telling a story about my first recognizable symptom, like my first intense symptom to having GBS. I'm sure there was things before that, which I'll talk about. There was some things that, in hindsight, I look back and I realized that I was already having symptoms before I started having like severe symptoms that I knew was associated probably with something else. Little things that just didn't add up. But basically, this video is me talking about that experience of getting like violently ill after after consuming one of those delicious Jimmy Jean's breakfast sausage corn dog majiki. They are super tasty, and I would still eat them. This is not a dig on Jimmy now, okay? This is just me talking about my experience, what happened, and really not knowing was it associated with the corn dog or not. It just happened so soon after I ate that corn dog that we just think it probably did. It probably did, but I don't know. Also, I ain't gonna yap too long. It's about it. But what I will say is, I'm gonna come back in a second, because this video is going to be broken down into 2 parts. The story is long. I'm very long-winded if you haven't noticed yet. I can't change it. I'm not going to try to change myself. Like, thank you for sticking in with me. It's just the best I can do, babes. So this is part 1 of that video about the possible cause of my GBS, which like I said, still to this day, I don't know. We don't know. Alright, so this is part 1. Thank you for sticking in with me, and I'll be back. You know I'm coming back. Hello everyone. It's been a while. Excuse me. It'll make sense later, but I've been going through it, okay? Been going through a whole lot of stuff, so haven't made a video in a while. But here we are, right? So as usual, thank you for joining me. Thank you for sticking with me through my journey, and your time is precious. I appreciate every second that you spend with me. So wherever you're joining me from, could be my Christy Love page. That's my food page on Facebook. Could know me on my regular page as Kristen. Could be my IG as KJack, the Aspiring Chef, and also on my Facebook and YouTube, Christy Love's Health Journey. Y'all, I don't be remembering stuff, so I really had to search for I really had to search for that for a second. But as usual, thank you for joining me wherever you're coming from. I'll get into what I've been going through over the last few months, but like some of this stuff just too soon. That's too soon. I can't get into it. I'm still kind of processing it, so excuse me. But my hair, Lord, y'all, I didn't even try to even fluff it out, make it look right or nothing, because I thought about it like, man, y'all done synced it. Okay, it's a little shrunken up now, but it's fine. It's washed and it's clean. But y'all done synced it where it was, whew, where she was going through even worse situation than she is going through right now. Okay? So I think we can all touch and agree and be like, it's alright. I really again want to thank everybody who's reaching out. I have been on what I guess could just be explained as a whole nother journey where I'm trying to allow myself to rest, because a real good friend of mine said that I wasn't resting, and she was right. I didn't even realize that I wasn't resting, which was the problem. I was like, no, I sleep and I lay down, whatever. But I had not rested, not really. And I finally had given myself the opportunity to rest. So, could I say I feel a lot better? I'm not gonna lie. In some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. Because I really feel like, just on my health journey page, I just want to be completely honest. As honest as I can be. And in some ways I feel better, and in some ways I don't. But I continue every day to work on it. And that's a fact. Whatever it is. Whatever the don't feel so good situation is. So, I don't really want to talk about the stuff that is currently happening. Where's my words? Because I'm very much feeling like I'm not ready for that conversation yet. I'm not ready for all that. One of the reasons why I did take a lot of time to come back was it was just a bad energy situation, and I don't have a problem with crying if I'm talking about something that happens to me or how I feel, but I do have a problem with spreading bad energy, which is one of the things that I've reflected on very recently. So I had super bad energy. And it wasn't even like I wasn't still being a positive person, still trying to power through the day, still trying to do stuff. It wasn't any of that. It was just, I sincerely felt like my energy was off. And I wasn't going to be crying about the situation that happened to me or any of that. I can do that. That's just transparent. But just coming on here and feeling like I was going to not be able to articulate my feelings better just didn't, it just didn't sit right with me. So I had to take a little break. So, with that said, or my messages and calls, I'm so sorry. Again, I try to get back into like responding, and if it's on my regular Facebook page, it's a little bit easier. But as far as messages or even calling my phone sometimes, or texting sometimes, just don't. Or the Facebook messages, even to my regular page, sometimes it just. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm sorry. I appreciate it, but one of the things I do want to say is like the energy I have is very, and I can't even talk sometimes to like the people that care for me. And when I say care, I don't mean like emotional. I mean people that do things to help me in my care, my healing. People I need to do stuff. Sometimes I don't even communicate some of that stuff. So, I'm sorry. But I will message you back. So, with all that jib jab out of the way, this video I really wanted to talk about what I think are the first signs of my GBS. I'm not completely sure, but it's just my journey. So I will get into my back surgery later, but I really like to have receipts, but right now I really don't feel like going and figuring out passwords and stuff and looking at my things like I normally do. But I think it was somewhere, I know I had my surgery in March of 2019, and I had my first signs of GBS in June. So I want to tell the story about that just because it's just so weird. So I had 2 jobs, and at the time I was not back to work at my full-time job. Both of them were full-time, being honest, but I was not back to work at my full-time job yet, and I was still trying to generate income, so I just get working my other one. I literally was in the hospital bed about to go into surgery, talking to the people that were under me like psycho. But I lost them. Where is it? I don't know. Am I gonna get it back? Let's see. Oh, I remember. So I just wanted, I'm not gonna even edit that part out because I feel like it's extremely important to also talk about memory loss from this disease. It's great.